Hello, and welcome to a short video for our August 2024 Employee Retention Credit Update. I am Vicki Stalnaker, shareholder of JRBT and Director of Operations for Payroll Systems, a division of JRBT. This short presentation is for general guidance only. It is not legal, tax, accounting, or payroll advice. Please consult with your appropriate advisors for your particular situation. Now, as you may recall, IRS issued a moratorium in September 2023 to try to halt the aggressive filing of fraudulent ERC returns by many ERC promoters across the U.S. So recently, IRS has started issuing various news releases to give updates on how their processing is going since that moratorium was placed. So we'll go through each of these fairly quickly today. So in late July, IRS issued more warning signs of incorrect claims. They issued 5 additional ones, so now they have a total of 12. So the first one was for essential businesses who had no decline in gross receipts and also was not subject to a full or partial governmental order. These entities should not have claimed their ERC. In addition, many businesses cannot provide support for their full or partial governmental order for which they claimed the ERC. Another issue was where entities reported family member wages as qualified wages when they are not under ERC. The fourth one is double dipping wages between the Paycheck Protection Program and the ERC. You are not able to use the same wages for both programs. And lastly, large employers had specific guidelines for claiming wages once they were above the limits for 2020 and 2021. So there were several large employers who claimed incorrect wages for the ERC. So a recap of some of the prior warning signs from IRS issued previously. Too many quarters claimed, invalid governmental orders, too many employees or the wrong calculations, citing supply chains issues, which is a claim that only some employers can make, very few actually. Claiming too much ERC, the entity did not pay wages at all during that period, or they did not even exist. And also with promoters who were stating employers have nothing to lose to claim the credits. So these were the warning signs that IRS issued previously, and then also issued some additional ones at the end of July. Now, in August, IRS has issued quite a few more news releases. So the moratorium that was issued in September of 23 allowed time for the agency to digitize information and analyze claims received because they received such a large volume in a very short period of time. They are now sending out 28,000 disallowance letters, which is estimated to prevent up to $5 billion in improper payments. Now, there is a chance that some of the businesses who receive these disallowance letters truly have a valid ERC claim. And so please review a notice if you receive it. Look at your ERC, verify if it was invalid or valid. If it was valid, you do have options to file an administrative appeal in response to the denial letter. In the coming weeks, 50,000 valid ERC low-risk claims will be issued. So hopefully some businesses will finally receive the refund checks that they've been waiting for such a long time. Now IRS is finally moving a little further in their moratorium period. They're actually shifting it from September of 23 to January 31st, 2024, which means any returns that were filed between that period will now go into their review process. They will continue to focus on the highest risk claims and the lowest risk claims. So those lower risk claims will most likely receive their refunds quicker. These are the ones that they view that are the most valid in their claims. The highest risk claims will go into a review process, potentially have issued letters for disallowance or be subject to audits. Companies that fall in the mid of the risk claims, those claims will also be reviewed as well, so it may take a little while longer for those to be processed. A week later, IRS decided to reopen the Voluntary Disclosure Program, also known as VDP. It has been reopened through November 22nd, 2024, and it is only for tax periods of ERC claims in 2021. It allows for self-correction and repayment of any credit received after claiming ERC in error. Businesses can correct the improper payments at a 15% discount and avoid future audits, penalties, and interest. Now, if you believe you have an invalid claim and you have received your refund and you are wanting to send it back to IRS, you must do so before you receive a reverse or recapture letter. IRS is planning to mail up to 30,000 new letters to reverse recapture more than $1 billion in improper claims. They are planning for thousands more this fall. And once you receive that letter, you are no longer eligible for VDP. IRS also encourages employers with invalid claims to consider the ERC claim withdrawal program. Now, this is used for employers who have not received their ERC refund yet. They have filed the return with IRS. IRS still has it in a processing queue. You have not received your credit. The withdrawal process has led to over 7,300 entities withdrawing $677 million of credits. So on the same day, August 15th, IRS also released more details of that VDP. Once again, you must apply by December 22nd. They have a specialized form for that application. Once an employer is accepted, you only need to repay 85% of the credits received. That's the 15% discount previously mentioned. And once again, it is only available to tax periods in 2021. You cannot use the VDP to disclose and repay 2020 tax periods. Now, when you received your refund check, if you received interest income on that refund, you do not have to repay that interest. Employers who are unable to pay the full 85% may be considered for an installment agreement. However, there is an issue of doing that. Penalty and interest will be required with any type of alternative payment arrangement. So if you can pay the full 85%, you do not have to pay penalty and interest. But if you have to do an installment agreement, you do. So IRS is encouraging employers to consider borrowing from a financial institution and paying the IRS to avoid those penalties and interest. As part of the VDP program, employers must provide the contact information and detail of services provided by any advisors or preparers who advised or assisted with their claims. So here are some links to the various IRS news releases that we just discussed. In addition, a direct link to the IRS claim withdrawal process. Those are for the returns that have been filed, but credits have not been processed, as well as the VDP program, where if you have received a credit and you know it's invalid and you want to return it back to IRS. So IRS will release more news information in the next couple of weeks, over the next couple of months, as they continue processing on returns filed through January 31st, 2024. So please keep up with our newsletters. You can go to our website for payroll systems or for JRBT to keep up to date on any new releases of information. Thank you.